Hey, everybody. Grant Miller here, Miami Community News. We're in our live Facebook show. I'm excited. I got Jones-Peabody.
That's correct.
Running for circuit court judge. Very exciting. You're in the legal field right now.
I am. I'm a criminal defense attorney.
It's very exciting. Before we get on to why you're running, let's get a little bit of history. Where were you born?
I was born right here in Miami-Dade County, Florida.
Jackson?
Actually, yes, Jackson Memorial Hospital.
Me too.
You were too?
Yeah.
Wow. We were neighbors.
Maybe. We could have been. Okay. Elementary school. Which one did you go to?
I went to two elementary schools. One was Glayview Elementary, which is now 5,000 role models where they're housed at. And I went to Laurel Park Elementary. During that time, they graduated from elementary school, and I graduated from Laurel Park Elementary.
Favorite teacher in elementary school?
Oh, my favorite teacher in elementary school had to be Miss McCann, my fourth grade teacher.
Okay. Now you're in junior high or middle school. I don't know what it was within.
My middle school was Drew.
Okay.
Charles Richard Drew.
Who's your favorite teacher?
There was Mr. Brown.
Okay.
Just a fantastic guy.
Then you went on to Edison, the Red Raiders.
I went on to Miami Edison, Red Raiders.
Favorite teacher?
Had to be Miss Young.
Okay.
Miss Young.
And then you went on to what college?
I went to Miami-Dade Community College.
Okay.
Broward Community College. And then I went on to the University of Florida.
Do you have a favorite teacher?
Who did I ever? My favorite teacher there was Professor Carson.
Okay, and then you went to law school. Where'd you go to law school?
I went to the University of Miami at the law school.
Was Donald Jones one of your teachers?
He was. He came in.
He does a show once a quarter.
Really?
I'm very good friends with him.
He was a very new teacher as I was coming out.
He's not new now.
No,
he's one tough cookie. He's one. He knows his politics in the world.
He came in and did. He was innovative.
That's a good word for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you finished law school, and then what did you do?
After going to law school, of course, I was slated to go to the prosecution side. I was hired by Janet Reno for the state attorney's office. I didn't come right away because I had an interview scheduled for the U.S. Attorney's Office with Dexter Layton, and went to that interview and I was hired. But circumstances. Single mother, had been divorced in law school.
How many kids do you have?
I have two. I have a son and a daughter. And it just didn't work out. And so I went on the defense side and became a defense attorney. And then I went into private practice, did about 15 years in private practice. And
where was your practice? What type of law?
I did everything. I did landlord-tenant. I did mortgage foreclosures. I did civil. I did criminal. I did dependency. I did delinquency. I did guardianships, probate, just about everything that came through the door. I did not specialize during that time.
All right, just jump around. How old are your kids now?
They're grown.
What's grown, 50?
Well, I don't trust a woman that would tell that age.
I tried hard. I tried. Okay, so now we got a little bit about history about where you came.
But I will tell you that my daughter is a teacher at Booker T Elementary. The historic Booker T Senior High School.
It's historic.
And my son is a process server here in Miami-Dade County.
He has not given me any process. He hasn't processed me, so we're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you want to be a judge?
This is a dream deferred. I have long wanted to be a judge. I think that those that are sitting on the bench who are judging people and the issues that come along with being in this community should be representative of everyone in this community. That they ought to be able to see what is printed on paper and have enough respect for the people standing in front of them to hear what they have to say, to understand the circumstances which brought them there, to understand the life issues that have caused some issues that have come about, and to make wise decisions based on all of that information and not just look at it on one side, but from all angles of it.
Well, that makes great judges when you look at all sides.
Yes.
And the law is the law. There's no question. But it's the way the judge reads it, too.
Yes, you got to look at the facts. The rule of law, we were taught in law school that you're going to take your facts and you're going to wrap them around the rule of law. The rule of law does not change. What changes is the facts and circumstances that cause the situation to come about. And you've got to be wise enough to understand that. There's some people who really deserve to be in jail, and there's some people who really deserve to have lost whatever property it is that they've lost. But there are other people, time, circumstances, and situations have brought them there. And you've got to be able to discern that as best you can. I mean, we're all human.
Right. It's a tough call.
It is.
You know, you have to read the person. You have to understand the law. You have to. It's tough. You know, there's
like being a drummer.
What?
It's like being a drummer. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. said that he was a drum major for justice, but being a judge is somewhat like being a drummer with the cymbals. You know, right. When I see a drummer, I see their hands, both hands are moving. They're looking at cymbals. They're looking at the other instruments, and they're knowing when to come in with the rhythm of it.
You know, it's a tough call. Judges have it tough.
They do.
You know, you have to understand the law, read the law, and then make a decision that's best for everybody, not just that person and the victim, if there's a victim, but it's a tough one. Okay, so you've been a public defender for how long?
Both times now, about 20 years.
So do you have a ballpark how many cases you handled?
Oh, upwards over 1,000.
Thousands, every
1,000. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow.
And that's in the criminal side, of course, because public defenders are that's criminal law.
The seat that you're running for, let's hear about that. Whose seat was it? Is it open? Is it vacant?
It's an open seat. Judge David Miller is retiring.
No relation. And he's been there a long time.
He has. He's also a University of Florida graduate as well.
You have big challenges. You know, running for a judge, you really can't talk about the issues.
Well, that's true.
You can't talk about the issues when you're running. So you can't. So how do you campaign as a candidate for judge? How do you do that?
You let people know who you are as a person. You let people know why it is that you want to run. You know, in my situation, this is a delayed dream. You know, I came back to the public defender's office in order to become a judge, but life circumstances happen. You know, we just finished Women's History Month. And like many women, I too put my dream on a shelf because family issues erupted. You know, when I came back to the public defender's office, almost immediately, my daughter had her child, almost died. I had to nurse her back to health, help with my grandchild. As soon as I got up from that, my husband, the love of my life, we were boyfriend and girlfriend at 9 years old. You know that.
Come on.
I like you. You like me back. In fact, on the way over here, my playlist played a song. You know, my husband's family owned record stores back before the conglomerates came in.
In Miami?
In Miami.
Where?
18th Avenue and 62nd Street was one. And that on this particular one, the way
On what avenue? 18th and 20th?
Northwest 18th Avenue and 62nd Street is now
right
the home.
Right next to I-95.
A little bit west of I-95.
Right.
But it is where now my middle school is on that lot.
Right.
And the record store was there. I go into the record store because I was friends with his cousin, and you would play music, and that's how people would come in and buy their records. And one of the songs that played was this song. It's called "When We Get Married." I was 9 years old, and I determined then that I was going to marry this guy.
Okay, so you're both at elementary school together. Did you both go to the same middle school?
No, we didn't go to. We weren't in the same elementary school either. We didn't go to the same elementary school. We didn't go to the same.
How did you match up? I mean,
because of his cousin. His aunt lived right next to my mom. We were right in the neighborhood with my mom. So I grew up with his cousins, and he would come over and visit. That's how we got together.
Did you go to high school together?
No, we did not.
Did you go to college together?
No, we did not. We didn't even go to law school together.
Where did he go to law school?
Howard University.
That's a great school also.
Yeah, it is.
Great history.
Yeah, it is. You know, but I was listening to that song as we came in, and that was the song that was determining. But my husband had a stroke and spent 2 years unable to move, unable to speak, unable to do any of those things. And I was there at the hospital at his side, making sure that he knew that I was there praying for him. making sure that my clients had competent legal representation, never missing a beat. I was in trial attorney, but I was there for my husband to make sure that he knew that those vows I took them as being sacred in this second marriage.
Wow. Impressive. So, as a public defender, tell me some of your cases that are earmarked that are very important to you in your growth of an attorney.
Well, I consider all my cases as important cases. I have friends that are a court reporter. I remember one of my court reporters said to me, "You really think that all of your clients are innocent, don't you?" And I do. Under the law, as a defense attorney, because our Constitution says that they have a presumption of innocence, and I take that seriously. I think that because individuals find themselves in those kinds of circumstances, they need, and particularly with those that are working, those of us who work in the public defender's office, our clients are indigent. These are people who cannot afford to hire attorneys. But they deserve to have good attorneys.
Public defender? Let's say, how does the state attorney's office know that they're telling the truth about money?
Well, there's an affidavit. I mean, they have to fill out an affidavit.
And you have to sign it.
Yes, they have to sign it.
And what happens if they get caught? They're lying.
I don't handle that part of it. I've never seen that part of it. But I do know that there is a check and balance.
Okay, good.
That there is a check and balance that says that this person may have assets that make them not be qualified.
Okay, so there's a check and balances.
Yes, there is.
Now, you work for Janet Reno.
No, I never worked for Janet Reno.
No, but in the state attorney's office, you're a public defender, right?
I'm a public defender. I work for Carlos J Martinez.
Oh, right. It's two different branches.
Two different branches.
Look,
but under the Justice Department. But
right, and the public defender director, or who is that? Who's in charge of the public defenders?
Carlos J Martinez.
Martinez. How long has he been there?
Ooh, for a long time.
Long time.
We actually went to law school together.
Because like almost nobody runs against him.
He's a good man.
Yeah, it's interesting.
He hires good people. He hired me.
Absolutely. Now that you have some cases, we didn't talk about who your favorite law teacher is. Who is your favorite law teacher and why?
Oh, I had some great law teachers. Ona Prienko, who was in family law, married to Minette Massey. That was always a great story. I love that.
Which Massey?
Minette.
Okay.
Donald Jones, of course, because he came in with the innovative ideas. There were just, Dean Hausler was one of my favorite, was not a teacher, but one of my favorite when I was there. But, law school can be kind of scary and daunting.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's also exhilarating.
When did you decide that you wanted to be a lawyer? At what age?
When I was a little girl. I grew up with 5 brothers. My sister was older than us and did not live with us.
So you had 7.
There were 7 children altogether.
Wow.
7. My parents had 7. And I grew up smack in the middle of those 5 boys.
No, you didn't have television or something.
They didn't have television. Yeah. We did. They probably didn't, but we definitely did. And my brothers, if you were to ask them, would tell you that they credit themselves with making me a lawyer because I had to argue.
Did you?
Oh, of course. Of course.
What kind of activities did you do as a kid?
Well, growing up with 5 boys, of course, I'm playing one-on-one basketball. I'm playing football. I'm lifting weights. As I told you before, I do love lifting weights. I played tea-set, doll babies. I did all of it. Jump rope, hopscotch, volleyball, tether-ball.
When you get elected, when you get elected, what will you do different within the law to make you a very successful judge?
Embody justice, fairness, a way that people can have access to the courts, sitting on that bench and recognizing that this is a court system that is brilliant in its design. It was designed for the people, by the people.
You know, we
That we can take our grievances. We don't have to, one-on-one. If you've offended me in some way, I don't have to now take this, me and you, one-on-one. I can take my grievance to the law and have redress.
We had the Florida Supreme Court Justice, John Curry, a local guy. He was raised in Miami, and he talked about the law. When you really, you're a student of the law. Now, I don't mean as a law student, but as now that you're in the professional world, you understand the law. It's a beautiful thing. And crazy, some of these laws were written 200 years ago, right?
Yes.
And they're still standing. It's mind-boggling. Some of them should be removed, but you became a student of the law.
The United States Constitution is a masterpiece.
Right.
It is a masterpiece. It has been tweaked. Some things have made it better, for sure. But it is a masterpiece.
Okay, so let's get to your family. You have how many in your family? Children. You have two.
2 children,
Okay.
1 granddaughter.
And where did you grow up? Where did they grow up?
In Miami, North Dade, Miami, El Portel.
Don't speed in that town.
No, don't.
No.
But even Biscayne, the little bit further, that Biscayne Gardens, that's the one you really don't want to speed in.
No, Biscayne Park, you mean.
Biscayne Park.
Do not speed in those 2 towns.
No, you're right.
Biscayne Gardens tried to become a city. It failed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So your kids grew up there. Where did they go to school?
Northwestern. They graduated high school from Northwestern.
So they're the Bulls.
Yes. Most of my family is.
Really?
I was the outlier. I went to Edison.
Why was that? You just didn't want to go to Northwestern? What was the reason?
I wanted new adventures. I wanted to diversity. Just as I now think that diversity should be on the bench, I wanted diversity even in high school.
There's not enough diversity on the bench, correct?
I think that there could be more, definitely.
Yeah, but that's how it is. All right, so when you were at Edison, that was quite a few years ago, the language barrier...
You don't have to say it like that.
The language barrier has changed. Creole is the #1 language there now.
Yes.
That's the only high school in the country that's the #1 language in Creole. So it's pretty exciting to me.
It is.
And that the Haitian community is molded themselves into a great community and making Edison still one of the great schools.
Yes.
Okay, so you have to be careful on talking about your campaign. What are you going to do different to get out on the street? Are you going to meet people? How are you going to meet the people?
I'm already in the community. I think that community service is the rent we pay to be here, for sure. So
Say it again. We pay rent to be here? What do you mean by that?
To live in life.
Okay, gotcha.
Community service is that rent that we pay.
I like that.
We don't necessarily get paid for it. It's not community service if you're expecting a paycheck for it, but you give up your time, your talent, your interest. I'm already doing that, and I don't expect for that to change.
Name some of your side interests other than practicing law.
I love reading. I love people, so I'm always doing whatever I can do with people. I am active and a leader in my church.
Which church?
Church of the Open Door.
Where is that located?
It's in downtown Liberty City on 60th Street and 8th Avenue Northwest. It is filled with many of the historic Black figures in Miami-Dade County. Dr. Enid Pinckney is one of our founding members who's still there. I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Enid Pinckney, but she is a stalwart when it comes to historic.
She's a legend.
History.
She's a legend.
She is.
Who else is involved with that church?
Well, Kelsey Farr was a part of the church. He's now deceased. My mother-in-law,
your favorite mother-in-law?
Yes, my very favorite mother-in-law, Martine LaVerity, was a part of the church. He's now deceased. Many of our members, of course, are older and they're going on to other things. But
The next chapter in life. Well, it's exciting because running for office is an honor.
it is.
And running for a judgeship is truly an honor because you could change people's lives and you could change Miami to a better place. You know, it's a tough call. That's why what your belief is, you need to be part of the community to understand the community. Am I correct?
Exactly. And that you respect. Miami is so diverse, you know, and that you respect the cultures that are here. That it's a diversity, and that makes life interesting.
That's why Miami is the greatest place to live, work, play, and worship in the United States. This is the best of the best.
I agree. The weather has also helped. Not summer. We won't count summer.
No, summer. That 2 months.
We'll leave that out. But
the 2 months that you're just sweating everywhere.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible with that. But other than that, it is.
Now you've been
great.
here your whole life.
My whole life. Yes. So was my mom. My mom was born and raised in Miami.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, you and I been here a long time.
Yes. My great grandmother was married in Miami. One of her later husbands in 1905.
I like it. Later husbands.
Yeah.
She had a few, huh?
She had a few.
Lucky her.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started your campaign. You're meeting people. Your election's when?
August 20th.
It's right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Right around the corner.
And you're campaigning. How are you campaigning? Just meeting people at different events?
Meeting people at different events. My committee is busy doing their thing and fundraising and putting those things together. That's the committee part of it. I don't have anything to do with that part. And just meeting a lot of people, shaking a lot of hands, getting to know people that I did not know, areas of Miami-Dade County, because this is a countywide race from Miami Gardens all the way
How
to...
many registered voters are? Like 1.6, something like that? What is it?
I believe it's about 1.4, 1.6. You're about accurate.
I'm close.
Yeah.
Well, we lost according to stats, we lost 100,000 people moved out of Miami. It's very expensive to live in Miami.
Yes, it is right now.
It's very
expensive.
expensive.
Very, very, very much so.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up. If they want to get a hold of you, what's your webpage?
They can go to BonitaJones-Peabody.com.
You got that? Can you pop that in? There it is.
There you have it.
If you would like to get a hold of her, you want to know more details, reach out to her. Everybody, have a great day.
Thank you.
Have one. See
Thank
you later.
Thank you so much for having me.
Peace.